So I have Carlos here with me. Carlos had reached out to me and asked if I was interested in his services. So I'm going to let Carlos talk about what he does and how he expresses his work through this method. So this is Carlos. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Carlos. I formally go as two things, call myself Loso 2.0 or the copy guy. Really, I'm a copywriter who helps, businesses grow through social media, run their social media for them, creating content posts, and then also running their email list for them as well, and doing emails for them and helping them generate more revenue or to increase more engagement, stuff like that.
Okay. And tell me like what the process looks like, or what is it like behind the scenes?
Okay. So behind the scenes a little bit. Ooh, that's a good question, actually. So when I do like a content post, for example, a lot of my time is spent on the research portion. When I have someone tell me who their ideal client is, I will literally usually say, if they're a little generic with it, they just tell me something that's perfect for me. For example, if we see like married women, for example, I would just go online and just search up married women forums and go in there and just look at some of the pains and stuff that they go through, some of the common questions that they ask. I use that, and then that is going to be like kind of where I kind of first started building that like buying environment and connecting with them when I write in my content. And then after that, I will connect that to a story that, you share with me or a client shares with me. They'll share some type of story with me. I'll connect it to that, which then I'll connect right into their, whatever their product or service is, and see how this all comes together and ties it together. So we have the first part where we get to know the married woman, get them interested. Then we have this step where we tell them a story that they can try to connect with to going into the product or service for the client, really. That's really how I basically build it up behind the scenes. So it's a lot more that goes into it, but that's the basics of it, I guess.
And tell me a little bit about, because like you had asked me to give you like a week of what I did. Like, tell me how did you formulate things based on that?
Yeah. So I said a week of what you did because, before I would just try to pull random stories, and it's like, all right, it's not really to that person, right? So doing that, I basically try to personalize it so that way you can actually feel like it's coming from you, you know what I mean? Or make it seem more personal to you. Because a lot of times, a lot of coaches, to be honest, especially in the same niche, they're saying a lot of the same things. But the thing that makes it different is the fact that it's coming from a story. It's just the way that you put it out there, that some person may connect with you better on a deeper level because you may be you're talking about mediumship and stuff like that with yours. And then there's other people who may be talking about, I don't know, fitness or something, but theirs is still kind of like similar, you know what I mean? So it's all about how you tell your story, which help build your brand. So that's why I like to get those stories from people. So that way I could try to help them build, like, make it more personable for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And how long have you been doing this for? Like, what started this?
Yeah. So I first started when I graduated college. So I was coming into my last semester of college, which was like 2 years ago. I know I'm pretty young. So when I was graduated from college, I was going to school to play, basketball and stuff. And I knew that I didn't want to work for anybody and I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I just didn't know what I wanted to do. So I looked up, okay, read one book a week. That's what they say you're supposed to do, right? But that's not true. Entrepreneurs don't do that. CEOs do that because they have like a broad, you know what I mean, of what they do. So I was like, you know what? Let me start reading one book a week. Started watching YouTube videos and I came across copywriting. And then I started doing copywriting. I started learning. I paid probably like $10,000 on courses and programs. And I didn't learn anything. So, well, I'm not gonna say I didn't learn anything. I just learned what it was because copywriting is such a broad, like, thing. Like, it's kind of hard to explain, but you can explain it at the same time. The easiest way I just explain it is, people selling you stuff on emails. Yeah, that's me. That's what I basically say. But So yeah, I just, spent that for like a year learning paralysis by analysis, which was my fault. Yeah, I mean, just trying to learn so much to the point where I'm not putting any of it into practice. And then after that, finally, I was like, you know what? All right, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm gonna make money this year. So then next year I started making some money, but then I was kind of not really building relationships. So now it's kind of like I almost started my business from square one again, and now it's just about building relationships, meeting wonderful people like yourself, and then going out there and just doing it honestly. So yeah, it's been about 2 years on the grind.
So what excites you about it the most? Like, what's the passion for it?
I feel like, well, so copywriting itself, it's not like I had a crazy passion for it. Like, I don't even like writing, honestly, to be honest with you. But it's like I seen it as a tool though, because like my biggest passion really was like, it's funny you asked this. I was actually speaking to somebody about this earlier. So my biggest passion is like I come from like a bad environment, like so for example, me, I'm from like Wilmington, Delaware, and like Wilmington, Delaware is like kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie. So I come from like a bad environment, you know what I mean? Kind of like poor, like African American community, and a lot of times people in there, they're either like playing basketball or like doing some type of sports, or they're rapping, or like there's drugs involved and stuff. And I just didn't want to be another statistic like everybody else. And I was like, you know what? I want to show them that like you don't have to either rap, sell t-shirts, or play sports to make it. Like you can do other stuff in business. And that's why I get so excited when I see different things like black people in tech, black people in it, you know what I mean? Like different categories that doesn't have to always be about that. And that's why I was like, you know what? I want to actually do that. So that's why my biggest passion's in. But then copywriting and ability to like tell stories kind of just seems like that's where my biggest drive is. Like, you know what I mean? I'm able to help people build stories and connect to it. And I feel like that's what's going to really help my community and help everybody back home, and put Delaware on the map so they can stop saying Delaware. It's like, no, you know where it's at. The first state.
Yeah, I really enjoy like reading what you wrote because I
Mhm.
feel like you really studied my content and you really took the time to formulate it in a way that would continue to seem like it was my words.
Mhm.
And I feel like you really embodied the vision and the experience, because sometimes for me it's hard to articulate that, it's hard to bring that out, and I feel like you were able to do that content
Mhm.
that you made.
Yeah, oh, no, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. No, I think like writing with your stuff, it was nice though. It was nice because I was like, I like to see like another niche, and I feel like yours is so like, you know what I mean? Like it's so specific. I just kind of love it. Like I never see someone try to do it that way in like such a spiritual sense. And I'm a spiritual person myself too. I'm not like Christian or anything like that, but just spiritual. And I love how you always talk about, like just being one with nature and all that stuff. No, I really do just love that. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you can even talk about some of that too. I love like what do you like? Where do you even get your inspiration from too as well? Like when writing, I just feel like I'm writing from your mind sometimes. I'm just like, where do you get your inspiration with like nature and all that too?
As a child, I was always connected to nature. Like it
Mhm.
comes very natural for me. And so, the channeling of the plants, the animals, I'm a medium. And so
Mhm.
connecting in that way has brought so much fulfillment. And it took me on to this journey of learning more about shamanism, learning more of like the energies that we can't tangibly see, or
Mhm.
that we tend to not hear, right? Because
Mhm.
everything has a voice, everything has an energy to it. And
Mhm.
so the work that I do is I teach people that everything is a living energy, right? Everything around us has this energy to it. And if we slow down and we decompress, we can see all of these tangible things that are around us.
Mhm. No, definitely. I was telling you when I was reading, I'm like, when I was reading, I was like, oh, this stuff is powerful. Like I'm starting to feel it a little key. Like I was just like, oh, and it kind of goes to sync with a lot of stuff I talk about too as well. Like when I'm studying stuff like, laws of power and all that, I'm just like, oh, okay, all right. So she's seeing it's really on a deeper plane. And that's why I feel like we connect so much when, we were like on the same wavelength, we were doing that.
Nice. Yeah. So did you feel a shift in your work as you were working on my stuff?
I did actually, because that's what I'm saying. Like, it's funny. Someone, I was just talking. I keep saying I was talking to somebody earlier, but I was talking to somebody earlier. I was like, wow, like you do like basically like the first like 20 some posts for people for free. Like, that's crazy. And I'm just like, listen, man, it's not even about that. Like, the money is gonna come to me. You know what I mean? Like, it really is gonna come to me when I keep putting out so much like that positive energy. But then also like I get better too. So like I said, writing in your niche, I'm like, oh, this is different. And then now it's like, oh, it's something I can add under my belt. Like, oh, you ever, yes, I wrote in this type of niche. This is real specific and way different than yours. And then I can write in this one and stuff like that. And I felt like a shift. Like I said, when I write, it's like I look at it as like when you're writing, or even when you're reading from like the mind of the author, you know what I mean, or the person that you're writing about. So it's like when I was writing for you, I was like, okay, I'm trying to find out like in a deeper level, how is she so like, you know, where does this all come from and stuff? And it just like helps me understand you more as a person as well, writing for other people.
Yeah. I know what like the feeling of the ghost writing is because I
Mhm,
have done it myself.
mhm,
And but I feel like you do it in a way where people really connect to it. And my channeling is more healing
mhm.
versus um the connection, right?
Yeah.
The healing happens because of the connection, and I feel
Mhm,
like you plugged that in for me and you brought that piece out of the areas that I can't articulate, but
mhm,
it has the energy in there. Does that make sense?
mhm. Yeah, yeah, no. Yeah, that's why I love, like I said, like I love doing that, asking what they do, writing that stuff. And then also too, I always send it to them. I'm like, hey, listen, why don't you just read over it, look. You can even add your little twist into it if you see like it's a little bit off, and it always comes together. Like, and that's what I like about it, because it's like when I do my work or when I'm writing, it's not like a one person show, like, oh, they're just gonna edit everything, or it's like I'm just writing everything. It's like we're working together and making something bigger than what, than both of us, type of thing, helping out more people, stuff like that. So that's why I love it. That's one of the things, reason why I do it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. And you're good at it. I really appreciated how you formulated things and you really connected and said, I'm at this point, this is where I'm at with it. So you kept me updated each pace of the content and the experience. So I feel like that is staying connected to the person, letting them know like where you're at on the editing, the creation.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that makes a person feel like they can trust you, right?
Yeah.
Because you're
Mm-hmm.
updating them on the process and you're keeping them in the loop and just not like sitting back there
Yeah.
doing the
Yeah.
background stuff, right? And so I
Mhm.
appreciate that you kept me updated on the steps that you were doing.
Yeah. No, the reason why I did that is because it's like I don't mind. See, like when someone says they'll do something, right? I don't mind even if they don't do it on that time, but they doing it. But it's just like, just communicate with me. You know what I mean? Because that way it makes me trust you. Like, all right, this is what I'm doing. Like, this is why it's taking so long. Oh, this happened, and it's like that's what I said. I'm here to build relationships, and I really am. Like, I'm not trying to just be like, oh, one and done. Oh, I just did this. That's it. We're done now. No, it's like I'm trying to genuinely build relationships, actually show people that's like I care about my work, and I'm trying to grow out here. And you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not doing this for me. It's been stopped being about me. It's about helping my community grow. So that's why I have to do it. I have to grind. You know what I mean? I have to show them that it's like, you can trust me. I'm not like these other guys. I know sometimes we work with copywriters, because copywriters get a bad rep. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes like they're like, oh, they're just asking for all this money, they didn't even do anything. It's like, all right, you know what? Yeah, that happens a lot. But listen, I'm different. And let me show you how I'm different. So no, I definitely appreciate you even giving me an opportunity to even be able to, write for you and stuff like that. Because some people say no, and that's cool. It's just like I gotta be okay. I'm just okay with it either way.
Yeah. So I'm glad we got to connect and I recommend your services. I feel like it's needed, especially because as entrepreneurs, we can't do everything, to be
Yeah.
honest, right?
Yeah.
We just can't. And
Mhm.
I have recognized that, right? And so, you know, you got to recognize your limitations and what you can and can't do. And so I
Mhm.
think that the skills that you're offering are amazing and that more people need to realize, right, that when you align to the right copywriter,
Mhm.
that really comes out, that's really shown.
Hmm. Yeah, no, definitely. And like I said, this is right now, I'm even recording this for my podcast. So listen, I feel like mediumship work is I've never, like I said, it's my first time writing for that type of niche. I definitely feel like you are an extreme expert in yours as well. So I'm giving you referrals too. Like I'm telling you, people need it. They just don't know that they need it. Like that's the thing. That's probably where I feel like I connect. I'm like, all right, people copywriting, people feel like they don't need it, but they do. Same thing with mediumship. You don't really know until like, oh, now you like just reading it and studying it. As I've been working with your stuff, I'm like, people really do need stuff like that as well. So yeah, for y'all listening, Angel Erica on Facebook, reach out to her. All mediumship. I mean, listen, I'm telling you, she's worth it. She's worth it.
Yeah, so thank you. I'm so glad that we got to connect and that I said yes.
Mhm.
And I value your work. I think that your work is something a lot of entrepreneurs need at this
Mhm.
point to grow and to expand their businesses because, like I said, we can only wear so many hats. And
Mhm.
it becomes exhausting when we're trying to wear all of the hats and we just can't.
Mhm. Yep. No, cool. I mean, thank you. I appreciate you having me and stuff like that. Got any other questions? Like I said, you guys can reach out to me, Carlos Henry on Facebook, wherever you wanna. If you ever need anything, I'm pretty sure you're gonna tag me under the video. So yeah.
Yeah,
I
and I'm
pre-
also on TikTok, so I do a lot of content on TikTok as well.
oh yeah. What's your TikTok too?
It's Angel Erica 122.
Angel Erica 122. Okay. I'm following. So I got TikTok too.
Do you? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, so then I'll upload this as well on TikTok to shout you out and keep growing. And you're doing amazing work. And I'm glad that my content helped inspire you more
Mhm.
because that's what my energy does, right? It's an
Mhm.
exchange, and
Mhm.
I hope that you felt that through this.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Definitely. We're definitely gonna stay in touch and all that stuff. And I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Well, amazing work. And those of you that are looking for this type of services and this type of exchange, Carlos really steps into his word and follows through and keeps you updated. And you're going to get exactly what he says he's going to deliver to you.
All right. Thank you, Angel. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You have a good one. See you.
You too.